So let's talk about different responsibilities of a manager. A manager has one of the most challenging job in an organization, and especially if you are the first time manager. Because when you're a first-time manager, you not only are in a phase of learning different skills of managing people and managing businesses, but you are also faced with a challenge of managing people who are reporting to you, as well as managing people that you are reporting to. So you're kind of in the middle. So you will have a lot of responsibilities as manager, and that makes your job very, very challenging. And if you love to be in a challenging work, then of course you have to be a manager to understand what challenge is. So, as per, I mean, if depending on the industry that you're working in, and depending on your organization, whether your organization is a small or medium or large size organization, there can be various responsibilities assigned to you, right? I have listed down 14 points here, which primarily would be assigned as a responsibility for a manager. However, you might find some of the responsibilities not being assigned to you, because, as I mentioned, that it depends on the type of industry or the type of organization you're part of. So let's get started, and we'll see which of the responsibilities that I think might be optional for you, and which of the responsibilities that might always be given to you, whether or not you're part of any industry or any organization. Right at the top of the list is people management, and we're going to talk about it in detail when we get into the people management section training. So it's one of the very, very important job responsibility of a manager. Team meetings, and we're going to talk about different types of team meetings, whether it's a face-to-face team meeting or it's a virtual team meeting. We're going to talk about that later on. One-on-ones, since you're managing a group of individuals, you will have situations where you would sit down with an employee one-on-one and provide him feedback based on his performance or behavior. So one-on-ones would be also a responsibility of the manager. Resourcing and attrition handling, this also comes into the picture, but again, it's a resourcing is an optional one, because sometimes if you're lucky enough and if you have a dedicated HR department in your organization, then resourcing gets taken care by the HR department. But attrition handling is something that would come into the picture when we talk about responsibility of a manager. You would have to be responsible for people leaving from your team and going outside the organization. So how you manage, retain your talents and retain your people would be part of attrition handling. Conducting appraisals, depending on the organization that you are in, there can be different types of appraisal cycle. It can be once in a year or twice in a year, but we're going to talk about it when we get into the training segment of people management. Leaves and expense approvals. So no manager would want every staff member to go on a vacation at the same time, right? That would basically means that your business would be in jeopardy, your customers would be annoyed, and you'll basically break down. So leave planning helps you not only to keep your customers happy and keep your business going, but it also helps you to keep your employees happy and give them the proper work-life balance that they might be needing. Expense approvals, again, depending on the type of industry that you're in and depending on the type of work that your workers are doing, different types of expense might come to you for approvals, and you might have to validate those expenses and approve. Onboarding and offboarding of employees. This might be optional in case you have a dedicated HR department. They can take care of the onboarding and offboarding formalities and paperwork. But if you are in a small size organization which does not have a dedicated HR department, then the onboarding of an employee and the offboarding of an employee from the organization, these responsibilities might get assigned to you. Client handling and escalation management. Again, when you're leading a group of people, escalation management is a daily affair. So it can happen that one of your team member does a mistake and customer, comes down on the team very angry. So that grievance handling you have to do. You have to pacify the customer, and how you pass on the feedback to the team member, making sure that you're not only that particular member but the entire team does not repeat any mistake, and how you pacify the customer and make him happy and keeps the customer with you. So that would be part of the escalation management that a manager has to do. Presenting business reviews with client and senior management. Again, a very key component of your responsibility when you're managing a team, that you will have to be responsible and answerable for the performance of the team. And so based on the kind of organization you're working in, there can be business reviews set on a monthly review, or the frequency can be a quarterly review or an annual review, but whatever is the frequency, business reviews would be part and parcel of the job responsibility of a manager. Quality management and participating in audits. I would term as an optional, provided you have a dedicated quality team looking into the quality management part of your product or service, and also making sure that there are representation going out to participate in external or internal audits. Risk management, very important component of business. Any business will have threats from competition, threats of going out of business, threats of disruptive technology, threats of breaching of data, threat of employees leaving or talent leaving. There can be so many different types of threat that a business can have. So as a manager, one of the key responsibility is how you manage the risk for your team and for the business. So risk management would be an essential part of your job responsibility. Just like people management, performance management is the most important thing that a manager have to focus on if he wants to become successful in his job role. So we're going to talk about the performance management part in detail when we get into that section, but for now let me park it. Number 13 is managing profit and loss. I would term it as an optional one, provided you have a dedicated accounting or a finance department or a dedicated account team looking into the profit and loss of your team or your division. And most probably, if you're a first-time manager, this responsibility might not be given to you. However, if you're a mid-level or a senior manager and a kind of a tenured manager who is good at accounting and finance, you might be given this responsibility as well, to manage the profit and loss of your department or division. Number 14, and the last point, a very, very key point, is delivering customer satisfaction. There's no business without customers, and there's no business without employees, right? So delivering customer satisfaction, once again, is a very, very key component of responsibilities of a manager. So these are the 14 points that kind of give you a guideline of what can be the responsibilities and various responsibilities given to a manager. Depending on the industry or the company that you are in, you might have all 14 of it, or you might have 7 of it, 10 of it. It completely depends on your corporate policy or the industry that you're in. But just to give you a guideline, these are the responsibilities that's there. Now, if you ask me that if you want to be, or if you just want to start off as a successful manager, what are the top 3 things that you have to concentrate on, then my recommendation would always be that you have to concentrate on people management, you have to concentrate on performance management, and you have to concentrate on delivering customer satisfaction. People management, performance management, and delivering customer satisfaction. I will always recommend that you guys start focusing on these three things to start off, and then you kind of get better at the rest of the things.